The assassination of Charlie Kirk, one of the most polarizing and prominent conservative figures of his generation, has shaken American politics to core. Hello, this is Mosmi and you are watching The Global Eye. Kirk was gunned down in broad daylight during an outdoor event at Utah Valley University in Orem, Utah, on September 10th. Surveillance video, forensic evidence, and political narratives are now colliding, raising troubling questions about motive, security, and the violent political climate of America. Now, let us reconstruct the events, examine Kirk's rise and influence, detail the new evidences, and probe the contradictions at the heart of his death. Kirk, a staunch defender of gun rights, killed by a gun. Charlie Kirk was speaking before a crowd of students and supporters when the shot rang out. Witnesses describe a single crack echoing across the venue. Kirk collapsed instantly, and panic followed. What about the weapon and method? Investigators say the shot was fired from distance, likely from an elevated vantage point, and video evidences show a figure fleeing across a rooftop immediately after the gunfire. Within hours, police discovered a bolt-action rifle wrapped in a towel in nearby woods. Ballistics testing is underway to match it to the fatal bullet. Some reports suggest markings of inscriptions on the rifle, raising speculations about political messaging, though no official confirmation has been made. A full-scale manhunt was launched, involving local police, FBI, and federal task forces, and still it's under investigation. Utah officials stated unequivocally that if a suspect is captured and convicted, they will pursue the death penalty. Now let's know who was Charlie Kirk. Born in 1993, Charlie Kirk founded Turning Point USA, a student-focused conservative organization that became a cultural and political powerhouse. Rising star of the right. He was a rising star. Kirk quickly moved from campus activism to national influence. He was a regular on Fox News, a podcast host, and a fixture of conservative conferences. And he has ties to Donald Trump. Kirk was one of Donald Trump's most loyal allies. He amplified President Donald Trump's messaging to younger voters, turning campuses into battlegrounds of ideology. Trump frequently praised him, and Kirk's events often served as grassroots hub for pro-Trump activism. To admirers, Kirk was a fearless defender of conservative values. To critics, he was a provocateur who thrived on division. His unapologetic style and combative rhetoric made him both a hero and a lightning rod. The release of new surveillance video has provided investigators with crucial, though not conclusive, leads. And if we see the neighborhood footage, a figure dressed in dark clothing walks near the UVU campus, seemingly concealing an object that could be a weapon. The timing places this person in the area just before the attack. Another angle shows a person fleeing across a rooftop immediately after the shot, suggesting the firing position was elevated. Is this the same person in both videos? Can the recovered rifle be directly linked to them? For now, the public has images, but investigators stress that video alone cannot establish identity without corroboration. What must be the motive? The fog of speculation. As with all high-profile assassinations, the search for motive is urgent yet murky. What are the possible theories? Political extremism? Given Kirk's visibility and polarizing influence, one theory is that he was targeted by a politically motivated extremist from the far left, far right, or another radical strain. Investigators cannot rule out the possibility that the attack stemmed from a private grievance carried out in a very public way. And the sniper style method, the recovered rifle, and the timing could suggest an intent to send a message, a performance, as much as an assassination. Is it the gun culture retaliation? Some speculate that the assassin may have been motivated by irony or retribution, killing a man who often said gun deaths are the cost of freedom with the very instrument he defended. But this remains conjecture without hard evidence. For now, no manifesto, no credible claim of responsibility, and no suspect arrest have been confirmed publicly. What is the gun culture paradox? Perhaps the most unsettling aspect of this tragedy is its symbolic resonance. Kirk's advocacy. For years, Charlie Kirk argued forcefully that the Second Amendment was sacrosanct. He often acknowledged the risk of widespread gun ownership but dismissed calls for stricter laws as threats to freedom. And the irony of deaths by gunfire. His death has triggered bitter debate. To critics, it underscores the dangers of America's permissive gun culture, a culture Kirk himself defended. To supporters, his assassination is proof that political violence, not lawful gun ownership, is the true enemy. And Utah's context? Utah has among the more permissive gun laws in the country with a strong firearm culture. The availability of high-powered rifles capable of precision fire makes tragedies like this harder to prevent. The killing of Charlie Kirk has sent shockwaves through American politics. Within hours, leaders from both parties rushed to comment. Conservatives blamed radical left-wing extremism, while liberals called attention to gun proliferation and extremist rhetoric. Universities, political organizations, and speaker tours are now reassessing event security. He was in an event. Rooftop checks, snipers on Overwatch, and tighter controls on outdoors events are being considered. But now the damage is done. Utah prosecutors are preparing for a capital case. If a suspect is caught, the trial could become one of the most politically charged in decades. Now the questions that haunt this case: who fired the shot, and was it politically motivated? Was the recovered rifle the murder weapon, and do markings on it reveal ideology or propaganda? Could better event security have prevented this, or was a long-range sniper attack almost impossible to guard against? Does the assassination mark a new chapter in American political violence, one of precision, symbolism, and spectacle? Will Kirk's death galvanize gun control movements or reinforce pro-gun resolve among conservatives? How should media cover such attacks without either sanitizing or glorifying them? Does this killing expose a deeper rot in US political culture where rhetoric and violence are bleeding together? Charlie Kirk's assassination is more than the murder of a single political figure. It is a flashpoint in America's ongoing struggle with political polarization, gun violence, and extremist rhetoric. The irony of a man who defended unregulated gun rights being killed by a sniper rifle is not lost on the public. It is already shaping the narratives, deepening divides, and fueling debate. The investigation will eventually provide hard answers. Who pulled the trigger, how, and why? But the larger questions about culture, responsibility, and America's political future will linger long after a suspect is caught. For more updates and insights, keep watching The Global Eye.